video is just going to be about um, depression and relationships in general, about family, friends, partners, coworkers, anybody you basically come into contact with on a daily basis that you might have a quote unquote relationship with. I really highly recommend, if you deal with depression and anxiety or any type of, mental, just any type of mental impairment or however you describe it. Find those who support you and let those who don't go. That's my major suggestion. You're gonna need to, and it is hard because yes, there are going to be a lot of people in your life that do not understand depression because they have not gone through it themselves. However, there are people who will do research, who will try to understand and will really go out of their way to be there for you. That's the difference between a true friend or a true anybody, true coworker, a true aunt, true uncle, true parent, true sister, brother, friend, mother, anybody. That's what really education is really key to somebody who is supportive of you. If they go out of their way to find some kind of education. Now, putting that education back on you is kind of a slap in the face. But if they go out of their way to do some education and, and they bring that into your space and let you know, hey, I've done this research and I thought this was kind of cool, that gives you an open line of communication. But at the same time, it's also really good to, when you do start a new relationship or you are learning about yourself in these situations, to put up boundaries. Boundaries are a must. They're going to be a must, especially if you also deal with, if you're spicy, boundaries are a must. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to put them up, though, if you don't love yourself first. And I realized that because I didn't understand what boundaries really even were, I guess, until after all of the abuse and all of the friendships that I had. And I sat down and really thought about, why do I feel so bad every day? Why do I feel bad when I come home after these friends? I would sit there and I would literally write in my journal. I didn't learn what boundaries were until I went through the 30 years, I guess, that I did. And it wasn't until, I went through all of the abuse, all of the treatments that I've gone through, but also going to therapy and reading all the books that she has recommended, or just reading books that I have looked up and found for myself, which I will. There are books that I recommend, like, for certain things. Yes, boundaries are super important. And if you don't have them, people are going to walk right over you. And I get that now. Like, I understand. I didn't have those boundaries with those girls. So that's why that happened. Same thing with the abusive relationships. I didn't put I didn't say enough is enough too soon and walk away. So it continued to happen until it was way too late. And so now, yeah, I highly recommend on boundaries. Boundaries with parents are hard, or maybe it's just me. With being an only child, I don't know. I think it is because also with my parents, like, my mom was gone a lot during when I needed her most, which was during my senior year of high school and college. She was busy with her own parents, and yeah, she was. They were sick, they were ill, and they did need her. So I can't put that on anybody's shoulders, Those things happened. And so we're lucky that we, had them around as long as we did. And so, I'm just saying, but, right, one of the boundaries that I have had to kind of say is, and it's something that we go back and forth about, is money. It's a big one for us because, they have let me borrow money, and That is very wonderful, and I am very thankful for that. But I feel ashamed when I am trying to change my ways, and I feel like I have. Like, for instance, not eating DoorDash like 6 times a month. I think maybe it's like twice now, 3 times, things like that. I mean, I'm really trying. And here with the move, I've been trying to read more. I'm really am trying. And when those things aren't seen, I think with being neurospicy, it is kind of like seen to me as a slap in the face. Because I'm trying. And it's not seen as that. But in my mind, I'm like, wait, I am changing my behavior. I have, but it's not good enough, And I'm like, but it's behavioral change, and behavioral changes are hard, so it should be appreciated. Anywhere change is done to save money, I would think, but like obviously wrong. But you should be treated like a human at all times, and I mean that because I've been horribly abused by people and not treated like a human in some cases, especially with men. Yeah, I know now what I will and will not tolerate at all, and there are, like I said before. So what happened with that very abusive boyfriend was that he was a narcissist, very into himself, very into himself. It was all about him. He could do no wrong. He could say no wrong. He would gaslight me into thinking everything was my fault. These are the terms that go along with being a narcissist. And he also was a psychopath. So this is just a smidge intro, because we're going to have a whole video on narcissist. Because I happen to be an empath. And an empath feels everybody. I can feel the feelings of others around me pretty easily. And I can also break down pretty easily. I can read people pretty easily too. And it's very stressful. That's why I also, like I said, it takes me, my mom can go for hours maybe, like yesterday with arranging things and moving and all this stuff, but I can't. I need some time to recoup. Sorry. I have to recharge. And that is a neurospicy thing. Like your battery runs low. And with narcissists, empaths, like we are moths to a flame. They just come to us and it sucks but knowing that now, I know. So like when I see one, I know. And I'm like, oh. And it's really sad because my mom's friend, love her to death, is going through this right now, actually, where she's dating a narcissist. And I can see it clear as day. I just met the guy. They were cleaning out her storage, and he was being a complete douchebag to her, and very controlling. And that's part of being a narcissist. He's very controlling over what she was doing. That's her stuff. You have no right over it. You're not married. You're not anything to her, really. You're just her boyfriend. Okay. And, I got a bad vibe from him, but I'm an empath, and she is too, but she's never actually been alone, and that is a generational thing. I've been alone for 5 years, so I'm like, okay, I know I can live on my own. I prefer not to, but I can't. Again, I'm going to repeat this. Your intuition, your gut feelings, that feeling in your gut or in your chest, wherever it is, I don't know. It's you, but it's gonna be somewhere, and it's gonna tell you the truth. Listen to it. A lot of us don't. I don't know why. I think it's because we think, we know. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes this does, our intuition. And I'm not joking, because I have literally been like, I've known. Sometimes I know stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why I know that, but I do. Or I knew before that somebody just told me something. Or it's kind of creepy sometimes. But like my good friend who was my CrossFit partner. Yeah, we went walking. This was like when we were preparing for the CrossFit competition was gonna be in the summer. It was like the Thursday before that weekend. And we were going walking that weekend, and she had portrayed to me a little bit that she was concerned about maybe getting her period. And I was like, well, I haven't got mine either yet. So, okay. We were like kind of synced, and girls can get synced, and it's a thing with their periods. So we were synced because we were so close with weightlifting. Like we could, she's so much taller than me, but we could weightlift we weightlift the same amount. Like, so I'm 5'2", she's like almost 6 foot, but she's bigger than me. I mean, but we can weightlift the same amount. It's just how my body's, our bodies are proportioned. We have the same proportions, I guess. And so we went walking that weekend. I think it was Sunday or something, or Monday. I think it was Monday. Oh no, yeah, it was during that walk that she had told me that, and I was like, well, I hadn't got mine either. And then we had class Monday or Tuesday or something, and I had gotten mine, so I was like, okay, I bet she has. And the look on her face when she came in, I was like, no shit, I knew the moment, and she didn't even know how to feel. But yeah, we knew, like when we talked about it, when she was like, I'm kind of worried because I haven't gotten it, and even I was like, I hope. Ooh. And yeah, she told me, she's like, I took a test and I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh Lord, there goes the competition. And we didn't compete. I did compete with someone else, and it wasn't the same, but it was still good. Also, when you get into a friendship, start a friendship, whatever, or a relationship with a guy or your partner, whoever, don't give out too much information too soon about you or your brain. That's how I say it. Or your, diagnosis or anything. I wouldn't right away because, they can use it against you. My ex did. He was very abusive and used it against me. And he basically told me at one point when he was drunk on Skype because of how I was, I should not exist, and I should therefore go grab my gun and kill myself. Well, that didn't make me feel good about anything, when he hung up. And I was like, okay. So I'm just, it's something to think about. Joining a group or being in a safe space like this is totally fine, I feel like, to share however you feel. But when you are testing the waters with someone new, you don't know how they really, really feel about anything. You really don't. Because, at first, they might say I have known people like that who are like, oh yeah, I get it. And then they're like, they backstabbed me. And they went and told my whole story, or, repeated whatever I said to somebody else, and it was not, I was like, really? That was in confidence, but okay. So I just say, be sure you want to share what you share with who you share with. Our leeches, they leech off of you. They really do. They suck the living life out of you, and you won't even know it, but you eventually will just be like, I have no energy to live anymore. That's what happened to me. I got to the point where I was like, okay, why do I feel like I just want to die? It's because I was dating a psychopath. He was making me feel like shit every hour and almost every minute of every day he was awake. So I craved at those moments when he wasn't. So I would get up at 4:30 in the morning to go watch TV away from him. And that pissed him off all the time when I would leave the bed. But I couldn't stand him. Don't let any type of abuse, and I'm talking verbal, mental, obviously physical abuse, to continue, because it will, and you will be stuck with it. And if you are currently going through abuse, I highly recommend that you find a therapist, one that is open and knows about abuse. and can openly discuss that with you. Trauma and probably PTSD as well, because I'm assuming if you've gone through trauma, then you definitely, if you've gone through abuse, you've gone through trauma, which is then now PTSD. I know I have PTSD. For multiple things in multiple ways. Not the same as our soldiers, of course, but for certain things I do. And I've also learned to write down strikes against people. You write down everything. I write down everything in a journal, so I remember, because sometimes it's hard, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist or a psychopath, because they're going to try to use a Jedi mind trick on you and tell you, I never said that. Honey, I never said that. And they're really so good to the point, because I know I've known one who's a girl, where she's like, oh my gosh, I would never do that to you. I would never do that. I mean, blonde, pretty, okay, well, I don't think she's pretty, but, whatever. Your typical bleach blonde, thin skin as a rail girl, okay? And she's like, I would never do anything like that to you. I would never, ever. Really? Okay. Yes, she would. Write down the strikes against new people, so you can refer back to it to remind you if something because you're like, okay, something is not adding up. This new person is smiling and but yeah, something happened because Georgina is saying something about them saying something about me. This isn't adding up. I would refer back to my notes and be like, okay, I told them this on this date, and oops, now Georgina knows? How did Georgina find it? Probably because I told, you know what I mean? It can help you put the pieces together. I just know it helped me a lot put pieces together when I was trying to figure out shit. Like, it helped me in high school with when you saw all those papers had printed out, helped me put all the pieces together, figuring out, okay, back then, back then it helped me figure out, okay, on this date, you were already cheating on me. So this type of stuff can really help you in the long run. If you get to the point where you figure out that someone is abusive, or you can't take it anymore, honestly. And I did have to do this. To each their own. Everybody is going to have their own opinion on this. It is called no contact, or, reduce contact or reduction contact, to basically reduce, to maintain your own boundaries, to reduce, to maintain boundaries for your own sanity. Because if you don't, sometimes you will just get stuck in that tidal wave and it'll just keep going. And that's what happened with me with the girl group that I had known since junior high, high school. The 3 girls. And it was hard. It really was. I wrote them letters, especially the one that I knew was going to be the hardest. And it didn't go well. They didn't take it well. It did not go well. I was basically accused of stepping away from the friendship. I just was, for no reason. Basically, my therapist was accused of telling me to do the wrong thing against my friends. I was basically letting them know I would be doing no contact for as long as I needed, which just happened to be a year, basically, for me. When it came time down to me opening back up, the one friend was not. She wasn't super reciprocal, and I think we did have a date once to go meet, and I think it really was the date we were supposed to meet. She lied. I was there waiting, and she never showed up. She lied and said that it was for a different weekend. Pretty sure we had the right date. We did try for another weekend, and she did show up, and it was hard. Yeah, it was hard. We had a friendship from junior high, but just seeing, we had gone different places in life, and that happens. And I don't love her any less. I still care about her and her family, and I wish her and her husband and her child or children her the best. I do. I don't wish anybody ill will. Anybody. That friend group just happened to be moving on in a different direction than I'm going in my life. And I needed that. It can be hurtful. It can be hurtful to others. And that's hard for us as empaths to hurt people. We don't want to on purpose. You should not be your parent's therapist. Some people feel like they are. I know that is a new, and I've known multiple people who feel that way, who are about my age and are, either living at home or whatnot, and deal with that. Literally deal with or have dealt with the fact that they feel like they're their parents' keeper. And it's really sad to see that their parents act like children, basically, and that we are the adults. And I have seen that firsthand, and it's really sad. You cannot change. You also cannot change anyone. They must want to change themselves in order to be a better person or to better themselves for the future. And that's hard because I have a friend that I had to walk away from just because I could tell that he was going through something, and he multiple times I had told him, I think maybe it's time to maybe talk about it. And not to me, you don't have to know, but I think it's time you need to get that out. It wasn't received very well, I don't think, and I'm not sure what happened between us, honestly, but I haven't heard from him, and so that's where we are. I don't know, but I wish him well, and, I hope that he gets help for what he needs for him to be a better person. And again, I'm going to say this, don't let anybody make you feel bad for getting help for your mental health at all. Because no, that's just a huge stigma. Okay, there's still a huge stigma around mental health, and I know that, and it's horrible. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about getting help or seeking help or just seeking anything that you need for you. No, because there should not be a stigma there. And don't let anyone make you feel bad for needing a mental health day or time to recharge. Like I did today. I needed time to recharge this morning before I made these videos. And I feel bad, but I don't. Nope, needed time to recharge. But because it's just something that happens with depression and anxiety, and I know that. And also with being neurospicy. My brain just thinks different, and my brain needed to be on point for these videos, and I knew it wasn't, so I wanted to be on point. So here I am. I do recommend being honest and upfront in new relationships. When you get serious about hardships you may face when you're ready. So that, such as for me, it would be PMDD. Letting someone know, my partner, letting them know, hey, once a month I get really crazy angry sometimes, and I don't know why, but I normally know that it's fueled with chocolate, anger, and crying sessions. And it happens. Crying spells happen. I need recharging time after being around people. I normally need I need some recharging time. I personally need reassurance in relationships. I think that's something I haven't been able to explain before. And now I finally figured out how to explain that to somebody. That's one of my love languages, but it's just that I just need reassurance in a relationship that I am wanted. I'm the person they want in the relationship right now at that point in time. And, of course, knowing my love type, knowing their love types, so that we can use those to get us to a better place, get us to a better relationship. My love languages are gifts. I love shopping for gifts for people. I don't know why. And I love receiving gifts. And I'm hard to shop for. I am. Not gonna lie. I really am. And I love it when people get me amazing gifts because I know that they put in a lot of effort. And effort to me means effort in a gift for me means you Googled something. I don't know. You searched eBay for this item. You found something different that nobody else could find. And that's like me, what I try to do with my friends. I've always tried to find something different. Go out of my way to go to every damn store to find that one item that they probably didn't even know existed for that fan base that they love. Okay, so that's just me. Gifts, and I need it's love, it's affirmation, love affirmations. I need it's giving affirmation and also receiving. I need that. And touch, of course, because I know a lot of people need touch, and I do like I need touch, but only at certain times. Please don't touch me all the time. I'll go insane. It's really just a very interesting process. But I do think being open and honest in relationships about certain things like that are helpful, because then they can be aware, hey, okay, she's not just fucking crazy. She does have this diagnosis or whatever they want to say, and so that they can be like, okay, or also if I need help with remind me I need to brush my teeth before we leave the house, personal hygiene. Remember we talked about that. That can be hard sometimes with people with neurospicy brains. I have realized that in my 30s, it has gotten way harder. It really has. I don't know why, but my brain is thinking about so many other things, I think, because the adulting thing is thinking about so many other things than, just, okay, my food, adulting is hard. So when you're adulting, your brain is like on fire already, and now you're like, okay, I also have to do all of that shit. Okay, so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of adulting, and so therefore, when I adult, my brain can literally, burst into flames, and I need time to recharge or recoup because I can't function. But that is all I have for today. Hope to get the actual video up on Sunday this time. I'm actually living in the RV, so it should. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those. I would love, I don't know if these videos are working. I hope they are. Please, somebody, let me know. And yeah, I will be here next week in our safe space. And this is Biohazard Babe checking out for the rest of the day. And I hope y'all have a great night.